Okay, well, I'm gonna try to do this. People have been telling me that I should film what I'm doing, um, and so I'm gonna I'm gonna give it a shot. What the heck? Um, so basically, what I've got is I've got this 61 Ford f100 unibody. I'll just turn this around here. Hold on. I don't know if I can turn this around. No, I guess I can't. Anyway, get a 61 unibody f100, and what I did is I picked up this 2005 Crown Vic. Obviously, that's what everybody's doing, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a Crown Vic um, front end under it. I wasn't planning on getting the whole car. I was planning on just getting the Crown Vic front end and just going that route. I got a pretty good deal on this car, and because I got a good deal on the car, I decided that I would just go ahead and swap everything. I just take the motor. I didn't quite have a motor decided yet what I was going to do for motor and transmission. This truck has nothing in it. It's an empty rolling shell. And so I've had this truck for like 5 years. I got it from my dad. Brought it up from California. And I've been wanting to get it going. And so anyway, this deal for this car came up, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna jump in this car. I was gonna part it out, sell everything else, but I decided I'm gonna put the motor, the transmission, the wiring harness, just the part of the wiring harness that runs the motor, whatnot, and then the front end. I got a 8.8 out of a Ford Explorer with a limited slip differential, 373 gears that I'm going to put in the rear end. Anyway, so not a whole lot different than what other people are doing, but most people are. I've got right here, you can see I got the Crown Vic front end already taken out. I got the car stripped down to like nothing. I got the motor, transmission sitting in the garage. Anyway, one thing I did want to show is that I went ahead and cut the frame because I got the car, and the car's obviously already got the bolts for bolting the front end in. So what I did is I just cut the frame, cut that section out, and what I'm planning on doing, and we'll see just how well this works, what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on fitting this right in there, same as the kits do. You get the kits, and you cut the top and all that jazz, and they go in there. So I'm gonna try this. Try just putting the what I've cut of the frame, and try to get them set down in there, and then weld them in, just kind of like the same as the box kit that you get, and see how that doesn't work out for me. So anyway, if this works out, filming this, then cool. Otherwise, I just wasted a few minutes. Not a big deal. All right then. Anyway, that's the start of this project. I'm hoping to have it running for the Ventique show in Yakima next year. This is 2023 right now, so shooting for next year. Anyway, a lot to do. Now, this is the motor to that '05 Crown Vic. So I got it out. I drove the car home, so this motor runs good. The tranny doesn't have reverse, so I'm gonna have to rebuild that. And this is what I've gotten started so far on dwindling down the wiring, trying to get rid of lights and power in the doors and stuff, interior power and stuff like that. I'm just trying to get it down to running the motor. Anyway, so this is what I've got started so far, and then I'll just try to bring you along on the video to in the process and see how it goes. Like I said, I'll be rebuilding the transmission. I've never done that before. Rebuilt an automatic transmission before, so that'll be interesting. Anyway, I'll give you a little bit better shot of the truck, best I can. It's a pretty clean truck. Nothing major in regards to dents and such like that. Interior's in pretty nice shape, other than that seat is a little tore up. I'll redo that. But the dash looks good. Headliner needs to be replaced. But I got the inner fenders already in the back. The worst part of the rust in the truck is right there on the tailgate. Both sides, but this driver's side's the worst. Anyway, my plan for it is I'm just gonna keep a patina, just keep the truck like that. I'll paint the interior probably inside the engine compartment, but otherwise keep the outside looking like this. That's what I want to do. Anyway, and I'm working in the dirt for anybody that's like making excuses why they don't get out and do stuff and get something done. You know what? You got a project. If you got to be in the dirt, get it done. I wish I wasn't in the dirt. It'd be nice to have a slab, a bigger garage, but I don't have that. But I got this truck and I got this car and I got the tools to get it done, and I guess I'm gonna work in the dirt. That's okay. So anyway, if you got a project, man, get after it. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. I just did a couple of these videos and I'm looking at the screen, and apparently that's not where the camera's at. So this is just a little test to see if I'm getting it right. Alright, I think I have it figured out. I think I got it figured out where I'm supposed to be looking at so that it doesn't look like I'm looking off somewhere else while I'm filming. But at any rate, this is what I got going, and this is what I'm gonna get after and get done, and it'll just be fun to see whether or not anybody likes watching me work on this old truck or not. There's a lot of people working on these old trucks and doing this same thing. Most people are putting the body on top of the car, on top of the chassis. I'm not into that, but I am going to use the majority of the car. I want to use the radiator and the wiring harness and the motor and the transmission, all that. And I've seen a few guys that have done it, but I've not seen many guys that like film doing it. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to film doing just that, because I think there's a lot more guys out there that would like to do this. Maybe not to obviously a unibody, but these Crown Vics work real good for all these f100s. So I'm thinking there's probably more guys out there that would like to to just basically gut the Crown Vic and use the parts, but put it on the truck chassis, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to film it for you so that you guys kind of have an idea of what you're up against before you start. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to try to give a bit of an update on this Ford. This is the next day. Well, it might be. Anyway, it's not the day. So I'm working on getting the front end out from underneath this truck. and I just about got it. Right now I just gotta knock a couple bolts out, and then I'll be able to drag the front end out from underneath it. Okay, here's the inside of this thing right now. I've got shocks off, the shock towers. There were shock towers here. I got the pitman arm disconnected. I've got the nuts off of the shackle, the top shackle on the back mount. So I just gotta knock those bolts out, and then this thing will be ready to slide out the side. Take the whole front end out, the leaf springs and all. This is a 61, so which makes it nice for me because, as you can see, there's not a cross member right in the middle. There's a cross member up front, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to get away with being able to save that. Leave that one there. That back cross member for the front of the tranny is going to have to go. I'm going to get the Crown Vic tranny cross member modified. I'm going to modify it up and get it to fit in the truck so it mounts in the same spot as it did in the car. There's bump stops right there. I don't know if you can see those. That bump stop hole, once I get those removed, is going to be the center of the axle where that, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's going to be the center of the axle where that pin for the Crown Vic front end is going to lay. So that's my center mark. So I'm going to get the rest of this thing pulled out, and then we'll give you an update from there. Well, as you might have guessed, knocking those out was a little bit harder than I anticipated. One of them was pretty stuck in there, but I got it out. So, pull that stuff out of the way. Okay, I got the front end out, obviously, and I got this. This is the bump stop that was in here. This front hole is for this little stop, and then the back hole, this big hole, is for the bolt, and this is the hole that's gonna center. It's not center this way. I'm gonna have to come out here a little bit. And then re-drill a pilot, but it's got to get bigger anyway. And then that'll be for that centering pin or locating pin in the Crown Vic front end. So I'm gonna get that, and a couple things to still get rid of. The brake line here that goes bolted to the front end I gotta get rid of, and then I'm just gonna get this mocked up, and then I'll come back. I still got steering box to get off, this cross member to get off, and this clutch bracket to get off. I thought I was going to have to cut here, and I don't think I'm going to, the way I'm doing it with the Crown Vic frame that I've cut out. I'm going to be a little bit short, hopefully, and then I'll just weld bracket from the Crown Vic frame over to that front cross member, try to tie everything together, strengthen things up. But I am going to have to cut into the top of the frame a little bit for the holes. Anyway, so that's where I'm at right now. I'll have to do something about this. Somebody somewhere along the line cut that portion of the frame out for who knows what reason, probably headers or something. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna get after it. Got those brake lines out of the way. And now I put this piece of plywood down. Now I got to get underneath because those holes got to get bigger, and I got to drill those from the bottom up. So I put down a piece of plywood so I'm not laying in the dirt. So I'm about to do that, and then I'm gonna roll that Crown Vic front end underneath here and see how it looks. Now I've got these two holes up to 7/8 of an inch, and it went pretty good. This one here, I'll show you on the other side, but this one here, it took out all of the old hole that was there. It's hard to do because your center is this direction, and so once you get to the same size hole as what was already there, which is probably like 1/2 inch or 3/8, you start cutting into that other hole, and the bit wants to grab and all that good stuff. So I wound up on this side. This is the passenger side. You can see a little bit of the old hole yet. So I'm a little too far this way. I'm a little too far in on the motor on this side. So but it's less than 1/8 of an inch. So I think I can live with less than 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to roll that front end in here, and then bring it up into those holes and see how I'm sitting. I got the truck jacked up, and I got this Crown Vic front end under it. I'm gonna have to make the holes bigger. They're not lining up to. I'll show you, but I'll have to make them a little bit bigger. They're more towards the. I got my measurements off, obviously. They're more towards the inside, towards the motor. But I'll hog them out a little bit bigger. Not a big deal. The biggest thing is going to be getting it lined up for the holes to bolt the thing in. Anyway, still got to go down quite a bit. Well, an inch or so is what it's going to go down. So this is it. This is what I'm looking at. The little pins are just a little to the inside. They're both sitting the same way on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hog that hole bigger and hope that I can hit them. And then it still has, it's hard to see, but it still has about an inch yet to go down. Right now it's sitting on the jack stands. But it went down quite a ways. Got quite a rake to it now, but well, I've got her sitting down in there. Not too excited about how big those holes got. I was off, but they're not the ones that I'm gonna be most concerned with. The ones where the bolts run through. But at any rate, it's down in there. It looks like it's maybe sitting up just a little bit in the front, so maybe I have to play with the back to get the back to come up a little bit. The frames maybe get a bit of a bow right there on the back. I've heard of this for like 59, 60, and so this is a 61, so it would sort of make sense that I have that issue. I think the reason this side is sitting better than the driver's side is because of that cut that somebody did. Anyway, you can see it. It's sitting down back there, and it's not quite sitting down up here. It's not much, but it's there. Anyway, back off here, and looks pretty good. Sitting down pretty low. It's got a gnarly rake now because I haven't done anything with the back, but looks good. Well, that's gonna do it for me today. For working on this thing. I got cleaned up and put the tools away, so I'm gonna call it. But it looks pretty good. I gotta finish up drilling the holes for the bolts and whatnot. Looks pretty good now. There it is. Anyway, it's in there. It's setting on it. It's got a long ways to go. I'm pretty happy with it. It's got a pretty good stance, and then and I know it's going to go down a little bit with weight and motor and training. So it's gonna sit nice and low. Be pretty cool. And then we'll work on the back end and get the back. I'm gonna do the springs on the bottom, the leaf springs on the bottom, and then I got a mini C-notch. Give myself some room, so that'll be pretty cool. If the back end sits lower than the front, then I'll figure something out. I'll figure out how to get the front end a little lower. There's a few ways to do that. Anyway, looks pretty good. Pretty excited about it. So, till next time, might be this weekend before I get after it again. But I'll get another opportunity, and then we'll show you how it goes. See ya.